It's that time, and the games have already started. Players on one team earn a lot of regular season hardware, while players on two others receive some punishment. There's no better way to prepare for the Kelly Cup playoffs than by settling down to watch this special expanded edition of ECHL Week.
Hi, welcome to another edition of ECHL Week. This time we come to you from the Scope Arena in Norfolk, Virginia, home of the Norfolk Admirals. Time to wrap up the 2018-19 regular season and look ahead to the 2019 Kelly Cup playoffs. The field is set and there's not a weak team in the lot. All but one club in the postseason won at least half of its regular season games, and the team that didn't still finished third in its division. Let's look at all 8 division semifinal matchups. Starting in the West, Bravo Cup champion Cincinnati is heading to the postseason for the 5th time in the last 7 years. League scoring leader Jesse Schultz, who had 13 points against Kalamazoo this season, and ECHL goaltender of the year Michael Hauser lead a strong lineup which has had very little turnover during the course of the season. ECHL Rookie of the Year Chris Collins led the K-Wings in scoring and was tied for the league lead with 6 shorthanded goals. The other Central Division battle features opponents who are familiar with one another. In fact, this will be the 4th time in the last 5 seasons Toledo and Fort Wayne have had a playoff encounter. Shane Birchback paced the walleye in scoring, but Dylan Sadaway led the team with 23 goals. Fort Wayne is the only team in the league to win at least one playoff series in each of the last 5 seasons. J.C. Campagna had 35 goals to go along with team-leading scorer Brady Shaw's 64 points. In the Mountain Division, Tulsa is back in the playoffs for the first time since 2015. Kansas City returns after a 2-year hiatus. Captain Adam Pluskatch had one of his best all-around seasons, finishing 2nd in league scoring. Goaltender Devin Williams had the best goals against average in the ECHL. The Mavs were a power as hosts. The only Western team with more home wins was Cincinnati. A balanced offense led by Rocco Carzo and team goal-scoring leader Greg Butzold scored only 2 fewer goals than Tulsa. It's 16 straight years and counting in the postseason for the Steelheads, an ECHL record. Although Stephen McFarland was the team's top scorer, don't forget blue liner Nolan Glukowski, who contributed 40 points. Thomas Scholl, a member of both the All-Rookie and All-League second teams, tied for the league lead in save percentage. And All-League first-teamer Caleb Herbert paced the Grizzlies in scoring. Shifting to the East, first-year Newfoundland will take on Brampton in the first All-Canadian matchup in league playoff history. Leading scorer Zach O'Brien, named to the All-ECHL second team, had plenty of help. 9 of his teammates recorded double figures in goals. Only Florida won more games away from home than the Beast, who were paced by David Pecan, David Valerani, and Nathan Todd up front. Etienne Morcoux and Jake Patterson provide experienced goaltending. Both Adirondack and Manchester are in their 4th seasons in the league, and they've met in the playoffs every time. Thunder captain James Henry was tied for 2nd in the league with 54 assists. A pair of rookies, John Edward and Mike Smatula, each scored 27 times. Nick Pirog was the Monarchs' leading point producer. He had 32 goals. On the blue line, veteran David Kalamatis and first-year player Daniel Maramonov combined for an impressive 83 points. Regular season South Division champ Florida is heading to the Kelly Cup playoffs for the 20th time in 21 seasons. Opponent Jacksonville is making its first appearance. Some flashy offensive numbers were put up by the Everblades' Joe Cox, an All-League second team selection, who had 61 points in 55 games. Rookie goaltender Jeremy Helvig posted his own set of very impressive numbers. Veteran forward Wasey Rabbit and blue liner Dejan Mingo led the way for the Icemen. Orlando will face South Carolina in the other South Division clash. These teams met at the same point last season. The Solar Bears scored 2 goals in each of the 4 games and won them all. Orlando finished 4th in the league in scoring and got double figures in goals from 13 players who spent most of their seasons in Central Florida. The Stingrays, in the playoffs for the 12th straight season, won their final 3 regular season games to earn a berth. Andrew Chernichen and Grant Bessie are at the top of this team's offensive pack.
It's awards time, and the final game of the regular season had a playoff berth on the line. That's all straight ahead on ECHL Week.
I had to work to get where I am. Nothing was given to me. I'm not the biggest. I'm not the strongest, but I will work the hardest. I drink Cocoa 5 because it keeps me hydrated and lets me focus on doing what I love. This game takes a toll on my body, but I can't take any days off. It's a grind, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Cocoa 5, keeping you in the game.
And you're watching ECHL Week.
An award-winning week for Brabham Cup Cincinnati was capped off by Jesse Schultz, who was named the ECHL's MVP for 2018-19. The league's scoring champ also had the most assists in the ECHL. In addition to leading the league in scoring this season, he was second last season and finished tied for third in 2014-15. Other impressive totals from this year: he was tied for third in the league with 22 power play assists, tied for sixth with 25 power play points, and tied for fourth with a plus 39 rating. Schultz's teammate Michael Hauser has been named Goaltender of the Year. Hauser, also a member of the All-ECHL First Team, had a tied for the league-high 29 wins and a pair of shutouts in 41 games for the Cyclones. He finished second in the ECHL with a 2.13 goals against average and was fourth with a .922 save percentage. Another Cyclone, Eric Knodel, has been voted Defenseman of the Year. A member of the All-League First Team, he led ECHL Blue Liners in points and goals. He was second among defensemen in power play assists and points and was tied for second with 6 power play goals. Partnered with teammate Marvin Atwall, they comprised one of the league's top shutdown defensive pairings. Meanwhile, Cincinnati coach Matt Thomas was selected as the winner of the John Brophy Award as Coach of the Year. In addition to winning the Brabham Cup as regular season champ, the Cyclones tied a couple of all-time league records. More about that later. He served as coach during January's All-Star Classic, his third assignment to that event, tying the league record. Alas, for Cincinnati fans, Cyclones didn't sweep the league awards. Kalamazoo's Chris Collins was given the Daly Award as the league's Rookie of the Year. He was tied for second among first-tier players in points, was fifth in goals, and tied for seventh in assists. He led the league with 10 shorthanded points and also got into 9 American Hockey League games this season. Finally, Joe Cox of Florida recorded the best plus-minus rating in the league. He was even or better in 46 of his 55 games with the Everblades this season.
Hi, I'm Kevin Kerr of the Greenville Swamp Rabbits. You're watching ECHL Week.
We're going to wrap up the regular season with one of our best highlight games of the week.
Off the draw, it's won by the Rays. Leach, far side. Got the big shot. Right side for Killens. Back to Leach. Slap shot. Save made. Bonner. The rebound pops up into the air, and it trickles in. Shot came from the point. That one bounced up in the air and just trickled in past Sean Bonner. And Charbonneau runs into a stick laying on the ice. Couldn't get it clear. Puck comes to the high slot. Laporte drops to the left point. Messner, a slap shot. Deflected in front. Score! Beautiful hand-eye coordination. Shot from the point by Messner. Laporte on the redirect. And it oh so slowly goes across the line to tie this game at 1. It's Perocta. Sends it off the wall. Mitchell intercepts. Magwood trying to get it back. Couldn't. Mitchell long-range shot. Deflected by Bonner. And on the rebound, they score. Magwood gets to the red line and dumps this one in. Lads need 2 in the last minute here. Near side, it's Lane to the front of the net. Laporte drops for McKenzie. He shoots and scores! They need another to clinch a playoff spot. Leach gets the red line and dumps in. It takes a hard hit from Laporte. Now it's brought in. A shot, they score! A broken play. And South Carolina scores to take the lead. And that'll do it. South Carolina defeats Atlanta. And they're heading to the playoffs. And will face the Orlando Solar Bears.
News from around the league, and we hear from a South Division play-by-play man when ECHL Week continues.
NHL players have amazing talent, and some of the very best developed right here in the ECHL.
Ready for the wrist shot and scores!
Now, Follow all your favorite ECHL alumni every night on NHL Network's primetime hockey show, NHL Tonight.
Both teams recognize how big this matchup is.
Fire save by Dubik. Goosebump stuff.
NHL Tonight, every night 6 Eastern on NHL Network.
I'm Evan Bidenhouse of the Worcester Railers, and you're watching ECHL Week.
Still lots of news going on throughout the ECHL as we head into the Kelly Cup playoffs. Let's check it out. More than 11,000 fans attending Cincinnati's final regular season game last week got to see some history. The Cyclones' shootout win over Brampton gave them 30 home victories this season, tying the ECHL record. In addition, Cincinnati lost just twice at US Bank Arena in regulation time during its 36 games, also tying an all-time league mark. Earlier in the week, the Clones had captured the Brabham Cup as the ECHL's regular season champ. Head coach Malcolm Cameron will not return to the Wichita Thunder next season. Malcolm and I met a few times over the last few weeks, and taking his thoughts into consideration, we both agreed that it was best for us to go in a new direction, said Team GM Joe Lamerno. The Thunder has qualified for the Kelly Cup playoffs just once in 5 ECHL seasons. That was with Cameron at the helm a year ago. He ranks 5th all-time among ECHL coaches in both games and wins. After 3 years with the Thunder, I decided that I was ready for a new and different challenge, said Cameron. The team has started its search for Cameron's replacement. Wichita will host the 25th ECHL All-Star Classic in January. Indy's Ryan Rupert has been suspended for 14 games as a result of his actions in last week's game against Fort Wayne. His penalties for boarding, physical abuse of an official, and for being a repeat offender caused him to miss the Fuel's final game of the season, and he'll sit out the next 13 games for which he's on an active ECHL roster. Meanwhile, players from both Allen and Wichita were punished after an end-of-the-game tussle last weekend. The most severe suspension went to the Americans' David Mikowski, 11 games for leaving the bench to join in an altercation and fighting after the game was over. Kurt Gogol of Allen was suspended 5 games for his spearing penalty, which came with 5 seconds left. 5 others, 2 from Allen and 3 from the Thunder, were also punished as a result of the after-the-final-whistle activities. The suspensions carry over to the next time the players involved are on an active ECHL roster.
Hi, I'm Sergio Lacroix of the Wheeling Nailers, and you can reach me at Sweet Seti on Twitter.
Voices of the ECHL. Today, Jordan Coons of the Greenville Swamp Rabbits. What are your duties in addition to play-by-play announcing?
Whether it's sales, with meals for media and training camp and getting attention for our club, whether it's through the promotional nights we put out, getting the media out there, interview requests, servicing them, scoring changes, stuff like that, being part of the creative side of things, generating ideas for videos, tweets, putting out press releases, promotional emails. It is everything, and it should shock nobody that it isn't just showing up to a game and broadcasting hockey.
Do you have any vocal exercises prior to a game?
In the off-season, I looked up some vocal routines in terms of warm-ups that singers do. You know, vocal fatigue is a reality of life when you do this as a job. So it's no surprise that you have to take care of yourself, stay hydrated, which is easier said than done, and eat well, which is also easier said than done on the road. So I've definitely looked at it, and I think I'm going to look into some potential voice lessons in the off-season too, to see if that can help me get an extra step up.
What's the best part of your job?
Telling the stories of players and people and trying to describe them as more than just hockey players, because they're not robots out there. You know, they are people that are trying to make an honest living, and you know, they're playing a game that they love. But there's so much more to a player than what they're doing out there. To tell the stories of these people and these players as they move up through the ranks and what they've done to get to that point.
That wraps up another edition of ECHL Week from Norfolk, Virginia. Thanks for watching. Make sure to follow us on all our social media channels. The best way to keep up to date on everything that's going on as the 2019 Kelly Cup playoffs unfold. We'll join you again for another ECHL Week program in 2 weeks as we wrap up the first round of the Kelly Cup playoffs. I'm Barry Schickling. See you then.